Hi, I'm Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and I am still knitting my way through my stash of Hobby Lobby clearance yarn. This time I am playing with Lion Brand Shawl in a Ball. I bought this year before last at their clearance. It was $2.24 a skein, and I had been tempted by it before when I saw it in the stores, so I bought every colorway they had. I think there are more than this hiding in my stash, but just to give you an idea, this stuff is 58% cotton, 39% acrylic, 3% other fiber, whatever that means. And there are 481 yards in a shawl. So I decided to take one of my balls of this and see what I could do. This is as basic as it gets. It's garter stitch with a tab start and yarn overs for the border stitches and center spine. This is one skein. Can't remember the name of the colorway off the top of my head, and the ball band is long gone, but this skein was perfect. There were no knots, there were no breaks in the yarn, there were no slubby parts or unspun parts or any of the problems I have had with some of my other shawl experiments. But the further I got into the shawl, the more I realized that I felt like I was kind of working without a net on a tightrope, because if there had been a break in the yarn, I would have lost this pretty color progression. I'm just kind of on the edge of deciding that I don't have the nerve for gradient yarn. I don't want to play with forcing the colorways to do what they're supposed to do. I like the texture. It is, like I said, this is just garter stitch. It is squishy. It is soft. It was nice to knit with, and I actually finished the shawl a while back, but was holding off on the video because I thought I was going to try to play with doing some of this yarn in a very simple lace. There's a shawl pattern called Halfway Home that I've knit a couple of times now, and it combines a panel of lace and a big triangle of garter stitch, and I love it. The needles I was working for, I think I just didn't have sharp enough points to get the lace to work, and I gave up in frustration. Pretty early on, was going to retry with better needles, but it's been a couple months and I still haven't done it. So for garter stitch though, I love it. The texture is nice, and some of these I've got multiple balls, so I want to make a big shawl for myself out of that at some point when I get around to it, or maybe one of the boho cardigans that my Fairy Treasures is always talking about. I don't know if I have enough yarn for that. I'll have to see. So this is my Lion Brand Shawl in a Ball from the Hobby Lobby clearance of, what would that be, 2018? It is going to take me forever to knit my way through this collection of clearance yarn, and honestly, if I never knit my way through all of it, that's fine too, because it's yarn. Yarn doesn't expire or wear out, and right now I'm knitting a shawl with some Michael's clearance yarn that won't count towards this series, and it's a big shawl with fine gauge yarn, so that is going to take me literally forever. Let me know, have you played with Shawl in a Ball or its newest incarnation, I think Shawl in a Cake? Does gradient yarn make you nervous? Are you looking forward to Hobby Lobby hopefully putting their yarn on clearance again later this year? Thanks so much for watching. I'm Michelle with Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and I will be back with you soon.